All right, well, I would like to put in a plug for this little Skilsaw here. This is the little old cheapo $45 one plus tax that they have it at Lowe's. And I've always used Skilsaws. I've been doing remodeling for, 40 years, and I've always used the Skilsaw. And I used the 5150 for decades, but they replaced it with this. And I kind of was all huffy and puffy about that. But this is actually turning out to be a pretty good little saw. It's the 13 amp. They have a 15 amp. This is the 13. And I am actually demolishing this patio cover. And what I'm doing is I'm just cutting it out in squares and throwing them down there rather than going through all that, pulling the shingles off. So I'm running that saw down this whole roof, and I'm just cutting out squares and pulling them out and throwing them on the ground. And I am cutting through 3/4 plywood and shingles. And this little saw is doing really well. Now, granted, I'm burning up saw blades. I've used about 5 saw blades thus far. It'll burn up a saw blade pretty quick. But the little saw is holding its own, and I've actually been using this for a long time. I expected to burn it up on this job. But anyway, I'll show you how she's doing. And for 45 bucks, this is a good little all-around saw. I highly recommend it. I've been using these little cheap Skilsaws for decades. And they're lightweight, they're easy to mess with, and they're pretty daggum tough. And I was a little concerned when this new model came out, because I loved the 5150 for 30 years. And this came out, and of course I was griping about it. Oh man, you messed it up. But anyway, this is doing really well, and I'll give you a little demo. It's going to get loud, so you may want to turn your volume down a little bit. But here we go. Watch this little puppy go. And that blade's about half dull by now, but here we go. This thing will get through there. We're cutting through 3/4 plywood and shingles, which that's pretty impressive. And hitting nails. So, I'm pretty impressed with it. If you want a cheap saw that's really handy, frankly, I expected to burn that thing up by now, but it's holding up. And so it's a darn good little saw. I'm a contractor, and I will use this thing. That's a good everyday all around saw. Okay, well, hope this helps you out. Little review. The scale 13 amp, and they have them at Lowe's. That's where I bought this one. It's like $44 plus tax.